Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport here on YouTube and Facebook. And today we're going to be previewing the Champions League fixture between Manchester United and Valencia. Well, Mr.
Not
Joe,
Antonio.
Not Antonio.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a one-man team.
Not one against 10 or something like that. Yeah.
Well, speaking of a person that could be 1 against 10 really at the moment, the 10 being probably the media and Manchester United fans to a certain extent. Jose Mourinho under pressure a little bit, as we mentioned on this week's show. A 3-1 loss against West Ham last weekend in the Premier League wasn't good. But if there is some sort of positivity to take from what Jose Mourinho has done so far in this season, it is in fact that they've got off to a good start in the Champions League. A 3-0 win against Young Boys last time out a couple of weeks ago. But nevertheless, Mourinho is still under the pressure at the moment at Old Trafford. Is this kind of game at home against Valencia a must-win game for Mourinho to not only, give himself a little bit more confidence with the players in the changing rooms, but to silence the critics a little bit further, to say, hey, I can still do the job at United moving forward?
I think it's just to help forget last week, basically, because last week was one of the worst weeks in probably Man United history, to draw against Wolves that have just come up from the Championship at home, to lose against Derby from the Championship with someone who's only managed the club for a couple of months or so on penalty shootouts at the Theatre of Dreams, to basically getting battered by West Ham and being the second best team on the pitch. I think it's just to help them forget what happened last week. They've got to have a fresh start against this Valencia team. And as you mentioned, that win against the Young Boys, that puts them top at the moment. And 2 wins out of 2, that's what they want. I've said it already on the show, the Premier League is over for Man United. The League Cup's already gone. The only thing that's left now is the FA Cup and maybe the Champions League or the Europa League if we finish third. Am I right? Let's not go too far yet. But, the Champions League, I think, is very important now for Mourinho because if he really wants to prove that he's not a three-season wonder, maybe to go far in this is the only option he has.
Now, with the selections at the weekend, it was kind of criticised because of the way that Jose Mourinho set it out. 5-3-2, which is kind of an odd situation for United. It's a bit not random. One that you see often there. But, even in this 5-3-2 formation, we weren't seeing the likes of Sanchez playing. He made the trip down to London for the game, but he wasn't included in the squad.
Must have been at Arsenal, forgetting that he's still with United.
Probably. And then we had Eric Bailly as well. Mentioning 5 defenders, Eric Bailly wasn't even included in the start position. He was on the bench. He didn't get a runabout. Are we expecting Sanchez and Bailly to play in this game, do you think? And are we expecting it to be 5-3-2 again, or do you think?
I think it depends with the Valencia tactics. Valencia, obviously they're there because they've played very well in La Liga. And it's funny because years ago, we all remember Valencia when they had David Silva and David Villa and then Soldado, etc. up front for them. And times have changed. I don't know much about the squad now, but clearly they're up there again. They're competing against the best teams of Europe. I say best teams. United aren't really the best teams in Europe right now, truth be told.
There are not so many are Champions League,
Yeah, newsflash. But I think for Manchester United with Sanchez, I think he's been abysmal this season. I know some people could say statistic-wise he's done okay, but I'm sorry, he doesn't turn up for me for Man United. He gives the ball away quite easily. I'm just a bit worried that this Sanchez signing that we made is just not the one we hoped for, that we saw from Arsenal in his last few months there. With Eric Bailly, I really like Eric Bailly. He's a committed defender. He'll make good tackles, even in the penalty area.
Is he still United's best defender, do you think? Because he's not.
I don't think anyone's the best defender, to be honest. They all keep changing their mind. It's like they swap. They swap their foot skills or something. I don't know. I can't speak, but it's like it just changes all the time. So I'm not sure what to expect. So I just think Mourinho sometimes probably has to guess and think, are you up for it today, Eric, or are you up for it today, Victor? I don't know who to play.
Or Jones.
Jones, yeah. The many faces of the very ugly Phil Jones.
Okay, I won't go that far.
He is, let's be honest.
Their opponents on Tuesday night will be Valencia, the Spanish team in La Liga, sitting currently in 11th at the moment. So, kind of a similar story for them, really.
They feel our pain.
Only 1 win from the opening 7 fixtures. Only 1 loss, though. 5 draws on the season already. It's kind of an abysmal
5
situation.
points there.
They won 1-0 at the weekend. They actually only got their first win of the season last weekend against Real Sociedad. 1-0 win there. And then in their previous Champions League game, they lost 2-0 against Juventus at home. So the manager, Marcelino, I think I pronounced that correctly, it's a bit of a rough start. But if there's anything that Valencia can come into this game and say that they can do well is protecting the lead. But they struggle against a counter-attack. So do you think that's something that United need to look at and say, hey, we've got Martial, and we've got Lingard, and we've got Sanchez, and we've got Rashford, and we've got all these quick-paced players. Lukaku, if you want to put him in that conversation as well. Do they need to play counter-attacking football?
It's so easy to just say that, though, isn't it? But we just make it look complicated, don't we, out there? I mean, I wish we could just go and do that, but sadly, we just don't do the counter-attacking at the moment, and the pace is just not fast at all. So I would like to say that Sanchez and Lukaku and Martial on paper will do that, but I'm not going to believe that's going to happen unless they do it in front of us. I
mean, United, from what I looked on in research, between them and Valencia, they haven't lost in the last 6 meetings with Valencia, won 3, drawn 3, and they haven't lost in the last 3 away visits of Valencia.
I remember we won 1-0 there from a Chicharito goal in the last minute in a group stage game.
Yeah,
those were the good days.
So United have got a good record against Valencia, but with the pressure of Mourinho's under. How do you think this game's going to unfold? What do you think the scoreline's going to be?
I mean, it's Old Trafford, so I'm a little confident. But yet again, I think Valencia will go into this and think, look what's happened last week. A team from the league below has beaten them overall, and the Wolves side have been able to get a draw there as well. So they're going to feel very confident. I think the form is not on their side, but they know that they could go to Old Trafford thinking this is not like the Fergie days.
Yeah,
we can go there and have a bit of hope, and the fans will be excited as well because they think they can probably get all 3 points. So I'm going to go for a Man United win. I'm always going to predict that, but I'm going to have to go with maybe a 2-1 win against Valencia.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be that kind of scoreline. I think 2-1's a good scoreline for it as well. I just think in this situation where United have to prove a point, they're able to do it and they're able to bounce back and do so. And I think it draws comparisons to really how United were last season with, so many criticising the draws and things like that. And they were able to bounce back and, try and keep up with City as much as they can, but they were unable to do so in the league. I think we're at that turning point now where Mourinho has to do something in order to not only save his job, but potentially to save the dressing room as well.
I think Champions League's the only thing we've got left.
Yeah. So if they're able to go far in the Champions League, I think it's down to Mourinho, really, and I think they should be able to get the job done against Valencia on Tuesday night at Old Trafford. So, what are your own predictions for the game itself? Let us know in the comment section below this video. Don't forget to like it, subscribe for more Let's Talk Sport content, and we shall see you all very soon.